My first guest tonight is a two-time Grammy-winning artist. Please welcome P. Diddy.
If you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires.
It was so hard for me to watch.
I believe the indictment is the tip of the iceberg.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster.
I'm a savage! Oh! You're gonna hear about my party, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me. I was this violent character. Look at me, I'm like, I made a mistake.
Mr. Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, is a truly influential name in the music industry. From his humble beginnings as a songwriter and rapper, Diddy's talent and ambition propelled him to astonishing heights of success, making him one of the most influential moguls in the business. What followed was a fall like nothing else. Allegations of the worst kind of crimes, a loss of respect in the masses. Combs' story is one of complexity and chaos.
Everybody's gonna get in trouble. It's a question of how do you get out of trouble.
Well, that's what people can't understand.
Yeah.
We can't be judged by man. God runs this world.
Diddy has consistently pushed boundaries and redefined industry standards. His journey in the music world has been extremely diverse. Not content with just being a songwriter and rapper, he took on the role of a talent scout, discovering some of the industry's brightest stars with an unmatched eye for talent. He played a pivotal role in shaping the careers of numerous artists, elevating them to global stardom, producing hit after hit. He has always been known as a star maker. There was a great deal of power in the palm of his hands. Born on November 4th, 1969 in Harlem, New York, Sean John Combs became known by various names such as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, and Puffy. He was raised in Mount Vernon. His parents were Janice Smalls, a model and teacher's assistant, and Melvin Earl Combs, a U.S. Air Force veteran. Despite facing challenges during his upbringing, Diddy's early years instilled in him a strong work ethic that would eventually propel him to become one of hip-hop's most influenced figures. Tragedy struck early in his life when his father passed away when he was just 2 years old. Melvin Combs, unfortunately, fell victim to a fatal shooting during a drug transaction after being mistaken for an informant. Though the details surrounding his father's death were not fully revealed to Diddy during his childhood, he gradually pieced together the puzzle.
My father, he was killed when I was 3 years old. I don't have a lot of memories of my father. They say, you can't miss something you never had. So that's only a little ways right, There's definitely been times as I've gotten older that I've missed my father.
I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
Diddy's career trajectory took shape as he ventured into the music industry, starting as a party promoter, background dancer, and label intern. However, his talent and determination propelled him to take on various roles, including talent scout, label executive, producer, songwriter, and rapper. During the mid-90s, he emerged as one of hip-hop's prominent moguls, following in the footsteps of Russell Simmons, co-founder of Def Jam Records. Diddy's empire dominated the charts at the time, leaving a big impact on the future of rap music. In 1993, he made his mark in the music industry by establishing his own production company, Bad Boy Entertainment, collaborating with both rising and established talents in rap, hip-hop, and R&B such as Mariah Carey, Boyz II Men, Lil' Kim, Aretha Franklin, Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, and Biggie Smalls. Combs showcased his keen eye for talent and instinct for producing hit records. His contributions earned him the prestigious title of Best Kept Songwriter of the Year in 1996. Not content with only producing and remixing tracks for other artists, Diddy decided to venture into his own solo career in 1997. He released his debut single, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, which soared to the top of the US charts, holding the #1 position for almost 2 months. This marked the beginning of a tremendously successful journey for Diddy as a solo artist. By this time, Bad Boy Entertainment had earned a staggering $100 million in record sales and secured a lucrative multi-million-dollar management deal with Arista Records.
Hi, I'm John Norris with an MTV News breaking story. We're outside of Peterson's Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, where the 24-year-old rap artist known as Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace, was shot early Sunday morning.
Tragedy struck in 1997 when Combs' close friend and collaborator Biggie Smalls was tragically murdered. In response, Combs paid homage to the late artist by recording the tribute song I'll Be Missing You. It seems like the track soared to the top of the Billboard singles chart, reigning supreme for an impressive 11 weeks. This heartfelt tribute also served as the launching pad for Combs' first solo album, titled No Way Out, 1997, which achieved platinum status. The album solidified its position as a commercial success, becoming the third best-selling LP of the year. It's All About the Benjamins and Been Around the World reached #2 on the chart. The album also saw widespread critical success, with Puff Diddy being nominated for 5 awards at the 40th Grammy Awards, winning the Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. It remains his best-selling album, with over 7 million copies shipped in the United States, and it's still considered a classic hip-hop album. Of course, success also meant rivalry, as other New York hip-hop record labels were also emerging in the same period of time.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boy.
In the early 90s, the genre experienced a shift with the rise of G-Funk, represented by Dr. Dre's iconic album, The Chronic, in 1993. The release not only introduced the world to Snoop Dogg, but also brought immense success to Death Row Records, the label behind the album. This period witnessed the commercial dominance of Dre, Snoop, and the signing of Tupac Shakur. Meanwhile, New York City's hip-hop scene remained vibrant and impactful, boasting acts such as the Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, and A Tribe Called Quest, whose landmark albums continued to shape the genre's landscape. However, the likes of Dre, Snoop, and Tupac enjoyed omnipresence on MTV and achieved unparalleled commercial success. Snoop's debut album, Doggy Style, made history as the fastest-selling hip-hop album at the time, with over 800,000 copies sold in its first week. The album's singles, including Who Am I, What's My Name, and Gin and Juice, soared to the top of the charts and enjoyed significant radio airplay. Doggy Style, like The Chronic, featured a roster of talented rappers associated with or signed to Death Row Records such as Daz Dillinger, Corrupt, and Nate Dogg. However, following Dre's departure from the label, Snoop encountered restrictions, realizing that Death Row practically owned his creative output for a specific duration. Consequently, he refused to produce further tracks for Sugar Knight and Death Row, except for the provoking song for Death Row, until his contract expired. However, in 1994, Bad Boy Records emerged in the limelight with the release of the notorious B.I.G.'s debut album, Ready to Die, sold over 4 million copies. This success was followed by even greater triumphs as Bad Boy Records consistently delivered hit after hit with albums from Puff Daddy, Mace, Faith Evans, and other notable artists. The West Coast versus East Coast feud is a legendary rivalry that has defined the landscape of hip-hop for decades. Rooted in the 1990s, this intense conflict pitted prominent rap artists from both coasts against each other, igniting a battle for supremacy, lyrical dominance, and cultural influence, with iconic figures such as Tupac Shakur representing the West Coast and the notorious B.I.G. leading the charge for the East Coast. Tensions escalated to a level that transcended music, encompassing personal rivalries, tragic losses, and a clash of distinct artistic styles. There was a downside to Bad Boy's rise as it sparked the notorious East Coast versus West Coast feud, which is believed by some to have played a role in the tragic deaths of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. This feud, which captivated the hip-hop culture of the 1990s, was a mix of violence and sheer horror, leaving behind the loss of two immensely influential rappers. During the 1990s, the hip-hop landscape was vastly different from what it is today. The rivalry primarily revolved around two record labels, Death Row Records on the West Coast and Bad Boy Entertainment on the East Coast. Each label boasted its own roster of stars, with Tupac signed to Death Row and Biggie signed to Bad Boy. These artists dominated the rap charts along with their associates such as Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, Lil Kim, Faith Evans, and Diddy. They achieved unprecedented record sales, with their feud ironically fueling their commercial success. It's important to note that the so-called East Coast versus West Coast feud was not truly about the geographical regions themselves, but rather about specific states, New York and California. While Baltimore is technically situated on the East Coast, Tupac's residence there suggests that he had harbored no animosity towards rappers from Baltimore, Philadelphia, or Miami. His grievance was specifically directed towards New York. Interestingly, the regional feud had its roots in the friendship between Tupac and Biggie, who were two of the biggest rap stars in the United States alongside being close friends. Tupac, who was born in New York, held no initial animosity toward the city. However, a single incident changed everything. From his teenage years, Biggie began rapping to entertain the people in his neighborhood. He had no serious intentions of pursuing a music career, but his tape somehow made its way to the Source magazine, who was so impressed by it that they featured him in their unsigned hype column in March of 1992. This exposure led to Biggie being approached to collaborate with other unsigned rappers. Diddy, who was then working as A&R executive and producer for Uptown Records, heard about Biggie's recording and arranged a record deal for him. However, Diddy left Uptown soon after due to a falling out with his boss, Andre Harrell. He went on to establish his own label, Bad Boy Records, and by mid-1992, Biggie had joined him. Before Biggie had the chance to release anything on the Bad Boy, Uptown Records released some of his music that he had recorded during his brief time with the label. One notable release was a remix of Mary J. Blige, His Real Love, in August 1992, which featured a guest verse from Biggie. In June 1993, Uptown Records released Biggie's first solo single, Party and Bullshit. During this time, Biggie Smalls had his first encounter with Tupac. The meeting took place at a party hosted by an LA drug dealer, and they bonded over food, drinks, and smoking.
To do some freestyle. Flow, I'm too high and I might go off tempo, but now I'm back to let these niggas know just how deep my game run. Tupacalypse don't sleep. Don't even when I choke you, stop breathing. When police come, I'm leaving.
Tupac, who was already an established artist, became a mentor to Biggie, and at one point Biggie asked if Tupac would become his manager. However, Tupac advised him to stick with Diddy, believing that he would help him become a star. Around the same time, Biggie was facing financial concerns as he became a father to his daughter Tiana with his high school sweetheart Jean. It had become reported that Biggie returned to drug dealing until Diddy intervened and put a stop to it. In 1994, while working on his album Me Against the World and collaborating with East Coast artists, Tupac traveled to New York. He was invited by a man named Ron G to record tracks with two up-and-coming rappers named Booker and Little Sean at Quad Studios. However, upon leaving the building, Tupac was ambushed and shot multiple times. He believed that the attack was orchestrated by Biggie, and this incident marked the beginning of their feud.
Trust nobody. Trust nobody. You know what I mean? Straight up. My closest friends did me in. My closest friends, my homies, people who I done took care of their whole family. I done took care of everything for them, looked out for them, put them in the game, everything turned on me.
With Tupac forcing his record label and crew to take sides in what he considered a war, the feud between the two labels escalated.
All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game.
Shortly after Tupac released the diss track, Hit 'Em Up, he was murdered. Following Tupac's death, it is widely believed that Biggie's murder the following year was a retaliatory act. Controversies and speculations have followed Diddy like a shadow. Persistent rumors linking him to the tragic murder of the legendary rapper Tupac Shakur have cast a shadow of uncertainty over his otherwise remarkable career. Though vehemently denied, these allegations continue to fuel debates and intrigue within the music community. In 1999, Diddy released the albums Forever, The Saga Continues, and Press Play, all of which achieved great commercial success. However, along with fame came trouble. In December 1999, Combs and his then-girlfriend, actress-singer Jennifer Lopez, were allegedly involved in a shooting incident at a nightclub in New York City, resulting in 3 people getting injured. Later on, Diddy faced legal charges, including 4 counts of illegal gun possession and 1 count of bribery. Prosecutors claimed that he offered his driver, Wardell Henderson, $50,000 to claim ownership of the loaded gun found at the crime scene. The trial began in late January 2001. On March 16, 2001, Combs was acquitted of all charges, as was his bodyguard. However, his protege, rapper Jamal Shine Barrow, who was accused of firing inside the nightclub and injuring bystanders, was found guilty of assault, reckless endangerment, and criminal possession of a weapon. In addition to his success in music, Combs had established himself as an actor and executive producer in the film and television industry. He has appeared in numerous films and partnered on TV series series like Making the Band 2. He has also executive produced acclaimed documentaries such as Undefeated and Mandela: Long Walk to Freedom. In 2013, he launched Revolt, his own music television network, and established Revolt Films, a production company known for its successful projects like Dope. Throughout the years, Combs also demonstrated his commitment to making a positive impact on societies. He founded Diddy's House Social Programs, an organization dedicated to assisting inner-city youth through initiatives such as tutoring, life skill classes, and an annual summer camp. Additionally, he joined forces with Jay-Z to pledge $1 million for the support of Hurricane Katrina victims in 2005, while also donating clothing from his Sean John line to those affected. Diddy's partnership with Ciroc Vodka showcases his business ingeniously. In 2007, he entered into a 50-50 partnership with Diageo, the parent company of Ciroc, and turned it into a massively successful brand. Within a year, the brand's production skyrocketed from a few thousand bottles to 2 million cases. This venture not only transformed the image of luxury within the hip-hop community, but also positioned Diddy as a key figure in the realm of rappers turned spirit entrepreneurs. In 2009, Combs formed and produced the musical group Diddy Dirty Money, which released their debut album Last Train to Paris in 2010. While many of his friends ventured into the clothing industry, Diddy distinguished himself by infusing his brand with elements of luxury and grandeur. This approach mirrored his strategy in subsequent ventures, wherein he provided his clientele with aspirational products and fulfilled their desires with what he refers to as a supreme product. As a result, Diddy received the prestigious Menswear Designer of the Year award from the Council of Fashion Designers of America in 2004, making him the first black designer to be honored in that category since 1981. This disruption in the industry landscape continues to influence the present day, as Fashion Week shows prominently feature creatives of color who seamlessly blend streetwear and high fashion. In August 2016, Combs launched the Capital Preparatory Harlem School, a charter school he founded in Harlem, New York, further exemplifies his commitment to education. Undoubtedly, Diddy is an influential mogul who has left an undeniable mark on the music industry, particularly in hip-hop, but it was not to last. In the same year, a video was released. The video appears to show Combs assaulting his former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, in a Los Angeles hotel hallway. Since this incident, many allegations have risen, claiming Combs had been involved in the sex trafficking industry alongside sexual assault. Music producer Rodney Jones filed a similar suit to Cassie's, alleging Combs abused him over a year-long period while he lived on Combs' property as a collaborator. The suit did not come to fruition, but it did act as a spotlight on Combs as potential misdoings. Further claims came from plaintiff April Ambrose regarding Combs' alleged sexual assault between 1995 and 2001. Similar claims were also provided by former model Crystal McKinney, who claimed the rapper drugged and sexually assaulted her in 2003. Combs' response to the onslaught of further allegations have remained as such. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. After the allegations, Combs stepped down as chairman of Revolt alongside receiving a colossal amount of negative media attention. Combs' honorary degree from Howard University was subsequently revoked. Furthermore, the mogul was axed from Miami. The statement from Commissioner David Suarez goes as follows: "As long as I am a city commissioner of Miami Beach, women, beaters, sexual predators, and pedophiles will have no place in our city." Many of Combs' friends have distanced themselves from them, whilst others remain loyal, eager to support the artist against the allegations. Sean Combs is a complicated individual. On one hand, he demonstrated a visionary approach, showcasing his ability to recognize talent and seize opportunities, from founding his label to pioneering successful ventures like Ciroc and Sean John. Diddy's entrepreneurial spirit has made him a trailblazer. On the other hand, the scandals and allegations have undoubtedly impacted the rapper's image, with his admittance to assaulting his ex-girlfriend to receiving a jaw-dropping degree of allegations. It's no surprise that P. Diddy has become one of the most talked about names in the music industry, for better or for worse.